But always look for one of these. Okay, this is the air cleaner.
On it. The technician said this customer's vehicle also had a full maintenance package included in their lease.
Does your engine lose power, idle roughly, and burn more fuel? Here are 11 proven fixes to restore performance and keep your engine running smoothly. Your engine breathes through the air filter. When it gets clogged, less air gets in, so the engine burns more fuel than it should. Less oxygen means poor combustion, sluggish acceleration, and wasted fuel. Check the air filter every 12,000 to 15,000 miles, and sooner in dusty areas. Hold it up to the light, and if it looks dark or opaque, then it's due for replacement. A clean filter instantly improves throttle response, acceleration, and fuel efficiency. Neglecting this simple step is a major maintenance mistake. A dirty air filter causes the engine to work harder, increase fuel consumption, and allows debris to pass through. Many cases of rough idling or black smoke from the exhaust trace back to nothing more than a neglected filter. When your engine can breathe freely again, the next step is making sure it receives the right amount of clean fuel. Fuel injectors spray a fine mist that mixes with air for combustion. Over time, varnish and carbon clog those nozzles, turning that mist into uneven droplets that waste fuel and dull power. Now, this is what you do. Add a quality injector cleaner like Techron or Lucas every few thousand miles. If hesitation or rough idling persists, have a professional perform a pressurized cleaning. Clean injectors restore sharp throttle response and smoother acceleration. Ignoring injector maintenance can lead to hard starts, engine knocking, and reduced performance. Not just that, but clogged injectors can lean out the mixture, raising combustion temperature and putting stress on pistons and valves. Many drivers replace sensors and plugs without realizing the real issue sits inside the injectors. Now that air and fuel are balanced, it's time to deal with carbon buildup. Even with good fuel, your engine still produces carbon deposits over time. Those deposits build up on pistons and valves, reducing compression and causing knocking, sluggish acceleration, and loss of power. Use a top-tier fuel additive regularly, or schedule a professional intake cleaning every 30,000 to 50,000 miles. Removing carbon feels like giving your engine new lungs. It breathes easier, runs quieter, and pulls stronger. Carbon buildup left unchecked can trigger serious issues, valves sticking open, or even detonation under load. Many drivers confuse these symptoms with failing ignition coils and timing problems, when in fact it's carbon suffocating the engine from within. But even perfect combustion won't matter if the throttle plate itself sticks or clogs. Your throttle body controls airflow. When it's coated in oily residue, airflow becomes uneven, causing unstable idling or sudden surges when pressing the gas. Remove the intake hose, open the valve, and spray throttle body cleaner around the plate. Wipe gently with a microfiber cloth. Once reassembled, your idle stabilizes and the throttle feels crisp again. A neglected throttle body can cause stalling at stoplights, delayed throttle response, and even trigger a check engine light for air imbalance. It's a small task that prevents the ECU from compensating with false readings, which can cause erratic shifting. Even with a spotless throttle, the sensors that read air can still send bad data if they're dirty. This sensor tells your car's computer how much air enters the engine. When it's dirty, the ECU miscalculates the air-fuel mix, causing a rough idle and poor mileage. Unplug it, spray it with MAF cleaner, and let it dry completely. Never touch the wire. Reinstall it carefully. Within minutes, you'll notice steadier idle and smoother acceleration. If ignored, a dirty MAF can trick your ECU into running the engine lean, raising combustion temperatures and damaging catalytic converters. Many mystery performance problems start here, especially after installing cheap aftermarket filters that release oil vapor onto the sensor. Now that sensors and airflow are calibrated, we turn to the lifeblood of your engine. Old oil loses its ability to lubricate, clean, and cool moving parts. As it thickens with contaminants, friction increases, heat rises, and components wear faster. Follow your manual schedule, usually every 7,500 to 10,000 miles with synthetic oil. Always replace the filter too. Fresh oil keeps internal parts slick, reduces heat, and restores that smooth, quiet operation that new engines have. Skipping oil changes is one of the most damaging habits. Low oil pressure, bearing failure, and sludge buildup all stem from this oversight. When the oil breaks down, it can no longer protect against friction, turning routine driving into accelerated wear. Once lubrication is fresh, focus on ensuring that every spark is strong. Spark plugs ignite the fuel-air mixture. When they wear out, combustion weakens, causing misfires, poor fuel economy, and sluggish starts. Inspect plugs around every 30,000 miles. Replace any fouled or worn plugs, and check ignition coils or wires for cracks. Restoring a strong spark brings back clean combustion and that confident engine note you've been missing. Neglecting ignition components leads to incomplete combustion. Raw fuel enters the exhaust, damaging the catalytic converter and oxygen sensors. It can also cause detonation underload, pitting pistons and valves. A weak spark might seem harmless, but over time it shortens the life of the entire ignition system. The spark's strong, but power isn't just about ignition. It's about pressure. So let's make sure your engine's holding it where it should. The positive crankcase ventilation, the PCV valve, manages pressure inside the crankcase, venting gases safely into the intake. When it clogs, pressure builds, seals leak, and oil consumption rises. Remove it and give it a good shake. A good valve rattles. If not, spray it with carb cleaner or replace it. A clean PCV system prevents sludge buildup and keeps oil where it belongs. Ignoring the PCV valve allows harmful gases to stay trapped, turning the oil acidic and forming sludge. Over time, this leads to low oil pressure warnings and leaking seals. With internal pressure stable, the next concern is managing external temperature. Coolants prevent overheating, corrosion, and rust inside your engine. Over time, its protective additives break down, reducing its effectiveness. Flush and refill every 30,000 miles. Use only the type specified in your manual. Mixing different coolant shortens component life. Fresh coolant keeps the engine at the right temperature and prevents costly damage from overheating. Neglecting coolant maintenance is one of the fastest routes to engine failure. Low coolant levels cause hot spots that warp cylinder heads or blow gaskets. Always check levels regularly, because ignoring a small leak today can mean a cracked block tomorrow. With the temperature under control, checking the components that keep your engine's timing and movement perfectly synchronized is necessary. Your car's belts and hoses do more than you think. The belts keep key parts moving, like the alternator, water pump, and power steering. The hoses carry coolant and air to keep your engine cool and running right. When they age, cracks form and failure follows. Inspect for fraying, glazing, and soft spots every 30,000 miles. Replace anything brittle or worn. A fresh set of belts and hoses keeps the engine reliable and eliminates squeals or leaks before they cause breakdowns. Overlooking belts and hoses is a costly mistake. A snapped serpentine belt instantly cuts power to the water pump and alternator, leading to overheating or a dead battery within minutes. A soft hose can burst under pressure, dumping coolant and seizing the engine. Preventative inspection avoids both. However, even if you're under the hood, don't overlook one small part that can cause big headaches. A cracked or loose gas cap can cause the check engine light to appear. It also lets air leak into the fuel system, disrupting pressure and wasting vapor. Inspect the rubber seal. If it's dry, cracked, or flattened, replace the cap. Tighten it until you hear 3 clicks. That ensures a proper seal, maintains fuel pressure, and even improves emissions. A faulty cap often triggers false emission codes that lead owners to expensive diagnostics. It's one of the simplest fixes to avoid unnecessary worry or wasted repairs. If you maintain these 11 areas, your engine won't just run smoother, it'll avoid the hidden mechanical damage that comes from small, repeated neglect. If you loved this video, kindly like, share, and leave a comment. Thank you for watching.